Okay, so today's lesson is on percents of a change. To find percent change, the first thing we need to do is to find the difference between the original and the new number. This is done by subtracting. The second step is to put that change that we've just calculated over the original amount. Okay, that's always change divided by original. The third step is to convert. Convert our fraction to a percent. That's our goal, is to get a percentage. So our first example, we have a square that has a length and a width of 1. The area of this square would then be length times width, 1 times 1, which is 1 squared. This is my original object. My new object is larger. There's been a change that increases it. The length and the width are both 2 in this case. So the area would be 4 units squared. That's 2 times 2. You'll see if I divide this new square like so, this 1 by 1 unit, this 1 unit square would fit in this upper left-hand corner. And then I would have now 3 additional squares. That gets me my 4 square units. So part A, what is the percent change in the lengths of the sides of the 2 squares? So for this problem, we're not using the area that we calculated. We're using the lengths of these 2 squares. Okay? So the difference is step 1. Find the difference. So we take 2 minus 1, the lengths subtracting from each other. We get a difference of 1. That 1 becomes my numerator in my fraction. Step 2 says to put that change, that 1 we calculated, over, that means a fraction bar or division, the original amount. Well, the original amount was 1. So 1 divided by 1 is 1, which we know converts to 100% as a percentage. So our percent change was 100%. So part B, what is the percent change in the area of the 2 squares? So the area of this one is 1 square unit. The area of the new one is 4 square units. So that's where we have 4 minus 1 gets us 3. 3 is our change in the area. So like we did before, step 2, we're going to take the change, which we found was 3, and divide, that's the fraction bar, by the original amount. Well, in our case, the original amount was the 1 square unit. So 3 divided by 1 is 3, which converts to a percentage of 300%. So the third part to this problem, part C, was the question, was the percent change the same in both A and B? And the answer, of course, is no. These are definitely 2 different numbers. Well, taking a look at these boxes, this length right here is representing this length right here. So when we're looking at our new square, this edge has the original 100% plus an additional 100%. When we're looking at area, however, this unit, this 1 by 1 square, would consume this portion of my new figure. However, I would still have 1, 2, 3 additional squares. So I have 100% plus 100% plus 100%. That's the 300% that they're talking about. Okay, moving on. Find the percent change of each set of numbers. So for number 1, we have 8 changes to 5. 8 is my original value. 5 is my new value. The difference, 8 minus 5, is 3. So to get my percent change, I take my change, 3, and divide by that original value of 8. So on our calculators, we'll divide, we'll get 0.375, which then will convert through multiplication to 37.5%. Problem number 2, this might be an example of an item being sold at a store. The store purchases it for $9 and will mark it up to $15. So the change is 6 when we subtract, and we take that change of 6 and divide by the original price. And in this case, it was $9. So once we divide, we get 2/3 as a reduced fraction, which if you've been practicing with your flashcards, you should know is 66 2/3%. Okay, let's see how much we can get done. Number 3, find the percent of change from the first number to the second number. Here's my first number, 38. My second number is 57. I need to find the percent of change. We're going to use that same rate of change to find the next number in the pattern. All right, so we're going to round each answer to the same number of decimal places. So 38 to 57. 38 is my original number. So we first take the difference, 57 minus 38, and we get 19. That's my change. Take 19 divided by 38. Remember, 38 is the original value. My percent change is 50%. That tells me I take 50% of 38, which is 19, add it to it, and I'll get my new number, 57. So now to go from 57 to my missing number, I need to add half of 57 back onto itself. So 50%, we hopefully will remember, is the fraction 1/2. So if I take half of 57, that should equal 28. And then that value will be added back onto 57, 57 plus 28.5, and we'll get 85.5. That's my new number. It's increasing by 50% from one number to the next. It is not a constant rate of change. There's not the same amount being added repeatedly. It's going to change as the numbers increase. Okay, so a worker received a raise from 22,000 to 25,000. What was the percent of change? Again, take the difference of the two numbers, that's 3,000. Take that and divide by the original amount. You'll notice we dropped the zeros. That's because we had 3 zeros in this number and 3 zeros in that. They would have canceled out when we divided anyways. So once we divide on our calculator, we'll get 0.136 repeating. And again, feel free to round your answer. When we move our decimal point over, we'll get 13.63 repeating. And for the purpose of this assignment, I am more than happy to accept the repeating bar or an approximation. Hopefully this will help, and I will see you next week.